Hey, everybody, I'd like to welcome you to another brick of the week. So the sun is almost shining here in Michigan. I'll tell you what, it has been a long, dark, depressing winter, but I am starting to see the light. So really excited about everything that is going on at the House of Bricks. If you've been watching us, you've seen us evolve. We started with a podcast and featuring top guests. Got great feedback, a lot of interest, started business advisory services, started the House of Bricks community, did the Startup X contest this summer. I was a judge on the 2-minute drill. So we've been doing just so many different things. And if you were watching, you would kind of think to yourself, Adam doesn't know what he's doing. And you know what? You would have been right, because I have built my success not on doing the right things every time, but it's actually failing over and over and over again until you find out what it is that your business really is. We start with an idea. We start with a concept. We think people are going to be interested. We think we're solving a problem. And most people start with an MVP product. And by the time they get it to market, they didn't realize how competitive it would be, or they didn't realize that no one was interested in it. So that's why we start with our MVC model, get to market. And through all of this, you have watched us evolve into something incredible. We're making an impact in entrepreneurs worldwide, helping them scale, grow, raise capital, prepare for an exit. And that was my original destination. But as you know, we talk about our simple framework, the strategy, innovation, mindset, pattern recognition, leverage, and execution. Well, our strategy was developed through testing, failing, learning, and growing. And we came up with a simple framework through testing, failing, learning, and growing. And this has now resonated with so many people. We decided to start a newsletter. So if you have not subscribed, and no, this is not a commercial, but if you haven't subscribed to my newsletter, go to my profile. We're doing on Substack. Paul's doing a great job just putting together great content. And really the importance of it is we have to learn that we're not alone when we fail. We're not alone when things don't go our way. And that's the power of community. That's why we started the House of Bricks community. And we're going to be talking about this every week. And the more stories that you hear, the more you read our newsletter, the more inspired you're going to be. And I'm going to give you free multi-million-dollar advice. No one knows what they're doing out there. Okay. So anyone that's claiming to be a guru, claiming to be an expert, look, all you have to do is show up, increase your luck surface area. I changed my name to the Luck Guru for a while on LinkedIn, and now I've added something even more unusual. I was an umpire for YMCA senior citizen softball. So everyone puts their best highlights. When I was 14, that was my first job, was umpiring softball for senior citizens. So you got to start somewhere. And I got to tell you, that was a lot of fun. But enough about me, enough about what's going on. I want to bring together. Well, now you know we're live. That's not edited. Brings a guest on the show today, David Creighton. Him and I have known each other for a couple years. He reached out to me right about this time last year and just wanted to get connected. And I said, well, why don't you join our House of Bricks community? He flew to New York for a VIP dinner that I was speaking at. And he's just been a tremendous member of our community. He shows up, he gives to others, and he's trying to grow and scale his business. So David, I'd like to welcome you to the Brick of the Week.
Hey, Adam, thanks for having me on here today.
Well, thanks for joining. And, before we get started into your business, just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, in short form, I am basically, family man working on building a business. And then I'm also focused on some community outreach ministry efforts that I'm trying to build into long-term. That's pretty much it in short form.
I thought that was short. I was like, I've taken a sip of coffee. I'm like, I got a minute to get
I'm just trying to keep you on your toes, man.
Yeah. Can I finish that sip I had there? There we go. So yeah, that's you on the personal side. I know you're a man of Oh, your turn. No, I'm kidding. I saw you drinking. I was going to hit you back, but
Yeah.
I know you're a man of faith. We share that common belief system. And, I think it's great that you're open about it. So today, just kind of want to get into that test, fail, learn, grow process. Tell us about your business, and we'll jump right in.
Well, my business now is, DC Painting KC, where we focus on, painting houses and buildings in the Kansas City metropolitan area. Originally my inspiration when I started was to, go after something that no one else in my family or my friend circle at the time was doing. Everybody pretty much worked regular jobs. They let their dreams or ideas of creativity for business or anything like that be passing thoughts versus passing actions. So I started the business with a general contracting approach, and then, over time turned that into narrowing down just to painting focused.
Okay. And, we talk about this strategy, right? Testing, failing, learning, and growing. So as I mentioned at the beginning, every great vision or business, starts with a vision, and we have that dream of building something big and inspirational. But what was some of the things that you did at the beginning to test and see if this would really resonate for you?
Well, in the beginning, I just leveraged everything that I knew how to do. I spent 16 years working out in the field, and I started in the industry whenever I was 18. I didn't know a lick about painting. I went straight from like fast food restaurant into painting. My stepdad actually introduced me to a friend of his that had a small remodeling and painting business, and then I found the passion for doing that work. So over time, I had this idea. I was thinking to myself, man, I'd like to have my own painting and remodeling business. And, later in life, I reflected back and I've seen different variations of, I wanted to own my own restaurant or be a mechanic, or these different things that were themed around I wanted to be in business. So with getting into the trades, I just leveraged everything I knew how to do, everything that I was learning and growing in that arena. So initially I started, with a general contracting focus to just dip in on every type of job profile that I could. And then over time, I started to weed out, what was the common pattern, what was I doing the most of? And it was always pointing to painting. So over time, I just gradually shed out everything to narrow in on just painting.
Yeah. And let's talk about the trades for a little bit. So as you know, I was president of Sales Transformation Group, and the trades at times have a negative connotation, like, oh, you got to go to college and get a degree. But during my time there, really started to understand the value of the trades, appreciate the business. What do you feel is the impact that you're making in people's lives outside of just painting?
Outside of just painting, being able to showcase, I know for my immediate family, being able to showcase actually going after whatever your dreams are and doing something outside the norm. And painting is just a vehicle. I mean, I could have chose anything, but I just ended up to fall into that and that become, what I was doing. But it's really just a vehicle. And that it's a stepping stone into being able to like chase after your dreams, and build something, like be creative to build something that you can use to not only support your life, but be able to, give others opportunity to open the door for, like my son, he's almost 19 now, but he was able to come out of come out of high school and start a, junk removal business, and then get into some other things on a trade service related type. I see my daughters being inspired to go sell bracelets at school, things like that. So I see that what I'm doing is filtering into people around me, changing the dynamic of my immediate family, but it also gives me opportunity to employ other people in the community in some fashion. So it's like bigger than myself. It's bigger than just the painting industry. It's like life, opportunity for people to do something to change their lives.
Yeah, and what I love about the trades is just the connection of the industry, right? In roofing, everyone just had they had built good relationships. It was a very work together type mindset is what I saw. And I love the impact that you were making there. So, all right. So you started with this dream, right? I'm going to have this business. It's going to go great. Let's talk about what really happens once the rubber meets the road. We're going to move into the failing part. So when things didn't go your way and you realized your strategy wasn't sustainable, how did you know what to do and what did you do?
Well, I was more broad focused, so I was doing too many things, and then it bottlenecked me at some point. And then I was like, okay, I got too much going on. It's a mess. I needed to simplify. Just having too much going on, because when I started it, I didn't see that. It's like, okay, I'll put my hands in all these different things, but then over time, those actions become like it just becomes an overcommitment in a lot of fashion. And then so once I started to feel the burden of so many different things going on all over the place, and it consumed my life. It was taking me away from, spending time with my family adequately, and, away from things that are more important in life than work. So I started to realize, man, I need to just shift and focus and simplify. So I started going through this unwinding process of just cutting a bunch of stuff out and figuring out, how to narrow focus, just to get myself out of that mess.
Yeah, and you're not alone. It's again some feedback for some reason. I don't know if it's on your side, but all entrepreneurs love to chase shiny objects, and a way to narrow that is to actually use our test, fail, learn, grow process. What happens is a lot of entrepreneurs test a bunch of things, right? And they don't go through the learning. They definitely fail. So they'll test and fail a lot. But if you're doing too many things, then there's no opportunity to learn. And then that is what prevents you from growing in a business. So that's, why we started the House of Bricks community, the Startup X program, and also offer business advisory services, because every entrepreneur needs coaching. Every entrepreneur needs an advisor, because you're too close to the business. You're in the weeds. It's tough to see like what actually is working. And so then if they don't go through that process, then they're just testing and failing a lot of different things. So after you hit that breaking point, was there some sort of mindset shift that you had that helped you move forward?
I guess the resilience and determination not to quit, despite all the challenges that I was, facing. And I was like, I can't quit. I've come this far. I need to figure it out. I need to keep on pushing through. And even in the midst of that, like I went into this real dark place for a while mentally, and, was depressed and unfulfilled. But it was in that time of darkness that I was able to kind of redefine myself and shift my focus and just figure out how to like just keep pushing past that, and the determination not to quit, because it's like I've already come this far, and if I throw in the towel, I mean, that does nobody any justice. And then I got people around me that are, looking up to me and stuff like that, and I just can't do it. Just can't quit.
Well, at least you're open about it. So if you remember last year, I did I think it was my first LinkedIn live event. It was like entrepreneurship and depression, And I could not believe how many people signed up for it. It is a lonely place. And that is why we, started the House of Bricks community. You learn you're not alone. You start to build relationships. You see other people going through it. And we talk about the relationship capital flywheel, right? You got to be mentored by someone else. You climb the mountain with others, and then mentoring other people will actually help hold you accountable. And then at the center of the flywheel is you. And so you have to invest in yourself. Then you're in a place where, hey, I can be mentored. It doesn't mean you have to be perfect because you're at the center of the flywheel, but you have to have the right mindset, being willing to be coached, being willing to help others, being willing to climb the mountain. And, we just have to have that self-awareness of the season that we're in, right? And one of the things I have learned over the last 27 years is that so many people waste their time in the valley. Those dark places, man, they suck. But you really see who you are, what you believe in. Faith and fear both coexist, and you have the choice with every moment to choose faith or fear. And faith doesn't mean you're just going to be happy and, oh yeah, I believe in this is going to work out, or I believe in God. But the faith is that this experience is happening for a reason. So I have piles and piles of journals of times in the valley, but I look back at those and it's inspirational for me to see where I was. And 90% of the things we worry about never even happen. Right? Oh, I'm going to go out of business. I'm going to go bankrupt. All these things we're prone to fear. It's hardwired in our brain. We're brainwashed with fear and manipulation every day. So it's really important for those of you out there listening that if you're in a valley experience, write it down, make the most of it. You're really going to see who you are, and it will shorten your time in the valley, because as you start to recognize and get that self-awareness, you can get some clarity of the next steps that you need to take. So I tell people all the time, like, grab the resources in the valley to climb the mountain. It's difficult to do on your own. And that's where, again, community and friends and advisors can help you out. So, all right. So we're in the valley. You're starting to figure some things out, tough place. Now we want to get to what's actually the fun part, is the growth mode. So we're fast forwarding today. What are some of the big changes that you've made and you've seen your business and life after applying this?
The simplicity of narrow focus and going deeper in on that, and cleaning up my time and my resources. That way I've got barriers in my schedule that allow for freedom to be mentally present and involved in things outside of work without having to worry about, the bleed through. I'd say that just the freedom that I've been able to experience in simplifying, and it gives me more of a focus on like what I'm building and how I'm doing it, and the fact that I don't have to be so hard pressed on, I don't have to be so hard pressed on, like, I'm in no rush.
Right.
It's all going to take time. It's going to take whatever time it takes. I don't have to be rushed. I can just, just slow it down a little bit, take the pressure off, enjoy life, and know that, hey, what I'm building, it takes time, and not to lose sight of, being able to enjoy the people and the moments in life that are more important than some of the other things that I'm actually doing in reality in the long term. So I'd say that's about it.
Yeah, and it's good. And you and I spoke a couple months ago, and where you are now versus where you were then, I can just see the difference. The confidence, seems like you have good handle on the business and where you need to go. So I'm just going to say this will be a breakout year for you, a record year, because I can see it, just in you as the entrepreneur, the changes you're making, and you've been open to learning. We have a community now of 50 plus people, but you've been very consistent in showing up, giving to others, seeking advice, and now I think you're positioned for that rapid growth. So you've gone through the process. I've watched you test. I've watched you fail. You learned in Q4. And now you're ready to grow. So how's 2025 shaping up for you?
So far, I'm pretty confident with what I'm seeing. The work that I've done, the last part of 2024, the things that I was working on then, I'm starting to see it setting the stage for now moving forward. The things that are really important, I've got a lot of things in place that the reflection of that is like, okay, cool, I can build on this now. And know that with it being not where it is now. Before, I was building on, sand essentially, but now it's like, okay, I can build on a stronger foundation, and I just need to turn the volume up a little bit.
Well, I did not pay David to turn this into a House of Bricks commercial, but he has said simple so many times. So I have to repeat our simple framework: strategy, innovation, mindset, pattern recognition, leverage, and execution. The I, innovation, is this test, fail, learn, grow process. It is not a fast one. I've watched David now for, like I said, almost a year, and he has literally gone through it, and we didn't even have the process. But that's how the best things are born, is getting things to market, doing things, stopping, learning. And that's how we came up with our simple framework. That's how we came up with test, fail, learn, grow. So I'm really excited about everything we're doing at the House of Bricks. I've got an incredible team with Michael, Bill, and Paul. We're positioned as well for another breakout year. So any closing thoughts, David, as we wrap this up? And thanks again for joining. This has been awesome to hear your story.
Yeah, I mean, there's more depth to it, just like anything else. I'm just thankful for the opportunity to be able to, scratch the surface a little bit. And I would just say that, although my journey became messy and complex and unfulfilling, not too long ago, I rediscovered myself and life in a way that allowed me to like recalibrate, with a new focus and determination to push forward. And I've gained more of a clarity of my sense of purpose, and what I really want out of life, and how it ties into what I've been building all along. And I would just say that, for others to just identify like, who you are now, and focus on, development to become, who you need to be to achieve your ambitions.
I love that. And I heard this quote over the weekend. You can't have progress without the process.
Yeah.
Right. And you cannot step into something new without letting go of the old. So
right.
That is just like gold. And I wrote it down on my desk here, and I've been listening to it pretty much every day. You cannot have progress without the process, and you cannot step into something new without letting go of something old. So everyone listening out there, the first step is always the most difficult, but you have to start before you're ready, because you never are. That's the reason you're standing still. So take that first step, even if it's commenting in the post here, reaching out to David, for him sharing his story. But we're going to just start to spread the news and influence of our test, fail, and learn, grow methodology, and really start to inspire entrepreneurs out there, because it is a lonely place, but it doesn't have to be. So I want to thank everyone for joining us here on the House of Bricks, Brick of the Week. I've got too many shows. Brick of the Week Live, whatever show I'm on right now. I tell you what, after last year, by Christmas time, I think I had done, 1,000 hours or more of Zoom calls. So I had a small meltdown around Christmas time, but getting back to my normal self, and going to be doing much, much more of this. So I want to thank everyone again for joining the Brick of the Week. Drop a comment in the chat. If you haven't subscribed to my newsletter, please do it. There's no cost. It's just to, again, the more people we have on the same frequency, the bigger impact we can make. And I am busting my butt to help everyone learn from all of my failures, to help you not skip the struggle zone, but optimize it. So thank you, everybody, for joining, and we will see you next week.